I promised you a channel announcement today, so here it is. From March next year, 2020, the channel will be moving to 3 release days a week. The additional episode will be 100% original content and be of a educational stroke science based nature. I do hope you join me in watching, and I want to thank you all very much for watching this year. That guy is a flat earther who thinks he knows a lot. However, his confidence does nothing more but allow him to metaphorically crash and burn from a monumental height. He has a video entitled, "What You've All Been Waiting For, Game, Set, Match, That's Why You Don't Troll That Guy." I'm sorry to tell you that guy, but you're about to be eviscerated. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday, the 99th, with me, Simon Dan. Before we begin today, I'd like to thank the sponsors of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a turn-based RPG done right, recently classed as a top 3 ranked RPG on the Google Play Store. Also being nominated as a finalist for Google Play's Best of 2019 Users' Choice Award. So what is Raid? It's an epic dark fantasy. A hero collection turn-based game with over 400 champions for you to personally collect and customise. And best of all, it is completely free to play.
Get tons of free champions, equipment and other cool stuff just for learning to play. These missions help you progress in a fun and easy way, while you get extra rewards for each mission. And the best part, once you complete the missions, you'll get one of the best legendary champions in the game, the Arbiter. The game's growing super fast, and check out this cool roadmap that they've published. They actually have huge plans for updates in the game for over 6 months. So there is an infinite content for you to enjoy, no time to get bored.
I haven't been playing it for long, but I'm already hooked, and I especially enjoy the huge array of champions available on the game with a massive 16 factions to choose from. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links there, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of a new player program to start your journey. Right, back to today's video. We'll be looking at possibly one of the cockiest flat earthers I've ever seen, that guy. He seems to think that he's untouchable. Bless him. Let's show him how wrong he really is.
Everybody, that guy. Time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Time to put an end to the trolling. I let this simmer for a couple days, just so all the trolls can show up and dig a big enough hole to fit them all inside when I cover them up.
Ooh, that sounds a bit daunting. Let's hope he hasn't messed up. The next 40 seconds is taken up with a bit of fliff-flaff, so we'll skip that.
You asked me a question, I answered it. I asked you a question, you left the conversation because I told you. The fastest way to shut up an egotistical globetard is to just ask them a simple question about their model.
Au contraire, my little flat earther, I believe it is you lot that can't answer any questions about your model, and some of you don't even subscribe to one.
It worked. Sly, I know you're watching. Even from under that rock I put you in. You will see this. Wally, Mr. Sensible, you might want to head for that rock and tuck your head. Run for cover.
Wow, he really thinks a lot of himself, doesn't he?
Right. I'm here to demonstrate why seeing these moonrise, moonset times. Florida. Near Daytona Beach. 11:05:67. These are the times. Moonrise, moonset. Moonrise, moonset. They didn't have a moonset time for Beijing for the 5th. I'm not sure why, but I imagine looking at this, it would be around 2 o'clock a.m. Probably around 2:11 or somewhere around there, 2 o'clock. So, looking at these times, these are the percentages of moons for the evening. So an 82% moon was up in the day at 3:13, a 74% moon the day before. I filmed both of these. They're on my channel if you want to see them. 74%, 2:42 to 1:18 a.m.
Okay, so he's got a list of moonrises and moonsets for 2 different locations on his whiteboard. Great.
10.5 hours, I think, something like that, right? And Beijing is 13 hours ahead of us. And so they couldn't see the moon after 12 a.m. At 12:20 a.m. it was set. They couldn't see it. 1:18 they couldn't see it, right?
Well, yes, if they are the correct times for moonset, then they will not be able to see the moon after the times that you've stated on that whiteboard.
Looking at this, if I'm in Florida at 2 something, what was it? 3:13. If that's 6 and that's noon, 3 o'clock, if I'm here, they would be here at 2:13 because they're 13 hours ahead. So how?
Really? You are really asking this? To start with, the time you quoted for Florida was 3:13 p.m. and then you said that the time in Beijing would be 2:13 a.m. because they're 13 hours ahead. Well, 13 hours ahead is actually 4:13 a.m, not 2:13 a.m. You can clearly see the moon wouldn't be visible from Florida, which means something is wrong with your model, because you should be able to just see it rising from there. And your guess at where Beijing would be is incorrect. It's more likely going to be here, which is nicely out of the way by just enough. Your terminator line is also in the wrong position for the time of year that you've taken the moonrises and moonsets from. The demonstration you're using to try and prove a point has so far not matched your confident attitude. In fact, it's been an absolute hash-up.
Right? Or is it 4:13? Either way, they're facing the moon. I'll show you. Here we have one light source like you need. 2 balls. I kept telling Sly, I think no less than 18 times, he kept telling me, like all the other globetards, that you need to hold a ball in the sunlight. Just go outside, hold a ball in the sunlight when you see the moon. The phases on the ball will match that of the moon every time. That guy.
Indeed, that is true. If you hold any spherical object up in the sun, it will cast a very similar phase as the moon.
What don't you understand about that? How many trolls? Look in the comments in my last videos. How many trolls hit me with this programmed response that they obviously never thought about? That's called indoctrination.
I get the feeling that that guy feels hurt over something. What do you guys think?
Cult mentality. Blind faith. The blind leading the blind.
Oh, the irony in that statement is delicious, isn't it? He waffles on a bit more before finally getting to his demonstration.
It still doesn't matter. Watch. The problem of seeing the moon is the relative position between the Earth and the moon relative to the sun. It has nothing to do with the shadow on the moon and the angle of it. Because there's only one place a waxing 80% moon happens. That's about right there. That's it. Right? You're restricted to this one place. That's it. And as it moves around, it'll be full and start getting smaller. It's a new moon. First quarter, third quarter. So, now that we understand what we're talking about, I have a dot here on Florida. And I have another on China. Beijing.
So here we go. That guy has marked Florida and Beijing on his globe. Let's see where this takes us.
Florida. 13 hours apart. So looking at an 82% moon at 3:13. I have lined this up to where they're in alignment. And it's kind of on the correct axial tilt.
Well, actually, no, it's not. The 5th of November is only 6 weeks away from the winter solstice, when the southern hemisphere of the Earth is tilting towards the sun and the northern hemisphere away from the sun. You have your globe in more of an equinox position.
That doesn't matter. So it's lined up right here, maybe a little over here. Boom. So when the sun's directly above head, it would be noon. So there's the dot. Somewhere that would be noon. So we'll rotate it to 3 o'clock.
Actually, you know what? Everything you say now is going to be all wrong because your setup is in the incorrect position. Still fun to watch the cringe though.
3 o'clock. Boom. 13 hours later, Beijing. Now, I'm going to actually put the moon in its actual relative position of the Earth to be 80% full.
A further point I want to add here is that you are assuming that the moon rise and set times match the time difference between the two places. They don't.
Which would be here. But not only here, this is nowhere near scale. We need to go about 30 feet behind me, because that's a 1 foot ball, and I hear there's 30 Earths between the moon and the Earth, right? 30?
Well, at least he's got something right, hey?
At least, it might be more. I think it's around 30. But this would be the position, the angle that we see here. Oh, where is it? The angle that we see there. Trying to turn this screen off. Right, that's the position we see there. We see here. Now, can you see that dot on Florida?
No, I can't. But why does that matter? Because your demonstration is a complete dog's dinner. For a video entitled Game Set Match That's Why You Don't Troll That Guy, I was expecting a lot more. You've got everything wrong that you possibly could get wrong. It's almost as if you were trying for that. The absolute hubris you've shown here is quite obscene. Not only have you embarrassed the other flat earthers, you've made an absolute mockery of your own level of understanding. Well done, that guy. You are awarded no points, and may the flat earthers have mercy on your channel. If you don't get that Billy Madison reference, then sorry.
Troll after troll after troll. I told you, one fail swoop of my intellectual foot over your intellectual grave. I hate to be such a dick, but my God, if I haven't encountered more trolls than anybody could ever conceive. Hundreds. And looky there. That guy has the intellectual capacity to understand.
Doors? A menu? An advent calendar?
The heliocentric model better than the globetards.
Yeah, no, you really don't.
Arguing me. Once again. You might want to start listening about gas pressure and gradient too, and maybe revisit the compass videos. Because a compass on the side of this ball, while I'm at it, you know what I mean? While I'm at it.
Oh, hold the front page, he's got more.
Here's for MC Tune. You see this? We use this needle inside of our compass. When I walk around, that needle is what I use to direct myself. That needle points directly to magnetic north, right? We measure magnetic declination using the angle of this needle in your hand to measure declination between geographic and magnetic north. The angle this needle is pointing. That means it's pointing directly at magnetic north. And that is impossible. How are you going to use this to measure declination if it's pointing off into outer space?
Yes, he did just say that. What a wonderful example of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Sorry, Rayleigh-Nodell effect. Let's leave that guy for today, but I certainly think I want to revisit him some point in the future. Right, thank you very much for watching today. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then a like and subscribe would be thoroughly appreciated. This was the 99th episode of Flat Earth Friday. I have been Simon Dan, and the 100th special episode will be out in a few hours. See you then.